Today, I want to test the difference between the Honest Fresh Flex Concealer and the Cover FX Concealer. The Cover FX Concealer has been my go-to for many years at this point. There has been a lot of rave about the Honest Concealer, and I like to wear concealer lately all over my face instead of foundation, and I know this one always looks amazing. I wore this one once, I'm not 100% sure, so I want to put them side by side and see if this is as good as this one. This one is about $22. I got it on sale on Amazon for about $12, $11. And then this one I think is about $30. I also got it on sale for Black Friday, which look out for those sales, but this one does retail for more. I tried this Glass Correct by Wet n Wild, which I have been absolutely loving, but I've used it twice and you can see right there, I've pretty much used half of the tube and 2 squirts. So I do use a lot of it because I want like a really glassy look, but I don't know. I feel like there should be more than like 5 uses. I mean, this is only $5, but I'll show you the difference. I don't find there to be a whole lot of correction happening with the green color correct. Okay, so here is the glassy look, and then there's nothing on. This will fade with all the other products I'll apply plus powder, but I love how that looks without having to have any shimmer on your face. I'm gonna do a little bit of the Tarte color corrector under my eyes. Look at that difference. If I look straight, you can see the purple and no purple. I love this product so much. I tried a ton of color correctors and that video never went up, but spoiler, this is absolutely the best one. I don't have pan in very many products at all, and I have pan in this one, which says a lot. I love this product because I could wear it on its own without foundation. So if I were to leave right now, there's not an obvious orange or pink color corrector under my eyes that I can't go out with. So this is another reason why I love the Tarte one. So I do have a little bit more redness on this side and a few new spots that came up. So since people are saying this one is super high coverage, I'm going to go in on the right side of my face with the Honest Concealer. The consistency is quite runny. Let me see if I could find. You can see as I turn the bottle, the product moves. This is a very runny, like liquid formula. Like it's a true liquid formula. It's not thick or gel or anything like that. I'm in the lightest shade Ivory Fair. I have discovered a new brush that I love for the eyelids. This is meant to be right here, but I like something more dense on my face. But for the eyelids, this is super soft, perfect shape, spreads so nicely. It's the Real Techniques 242 brightening concealer brush. Okay, so now that it's all blended in, you can see the difference. The ivory shade matches my neck so well. This is kind of all the redness without any concealer on. So now let's put on the Cover FX on the other side and compare the two. I use the shade N Light 1 in the Cover FX concealer, and it has a little bit of a different applicator. It's like a ball, but works the same. I never really thought about concealer packaging, but I bought the Item Beauty concealer, and you can see the lid is like the crack where the lid closes is super messy. That was the first concealer I've ever experienced that had such awful packaging. So now that's something I pay attention to when I'm buying concealer, but it's never like happened outside of that. But now it's something that I really appreciate when concealers have good packaging. Okay, so both of them are really, really pretty and skin-like. This is the Honest side and this is the Cover FX side. They even both kind of have the same amount of luminosity. I know I also have like the Wet n Wild primer underneath. I'm gonna finish the rest of my face and then I'm gonna do a wear test. So at the end of the day, I'll come back and see, you know, how they were creased and all that. And we'll see which one's actually better. I'm going to powder just the lids and underneath the eyes with the Real Techniques contour brush. And I've been into the matte setting powder from Cover FX. I love Cover FX for a few of their products. Honestly, the main reason I have this powder is because I found it at Marshall's for $10. On the Cover FX website, it retails for over $30 for sure. But I love that it mattifies, but it doesn't, like, it takes away shine, but it does not dry out my face, nor can you see this powder on my face. It's a really, really good one. For bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I have the shade Light Medium, and I find that a rounded brush like this works super, super well with cream products. It just blends it out seamlessly. And I like to kind of put it all over, and I'll still add blush on top. But I love how sheer you can add this product, and you can build it up really nicely as well. I'm gonna go in with a smaller brush. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush for the bronzer up on my forehead. And I never put bronzer up like around the jaw. Maybe like if I have something left over on my brush, but I never find that it looks good on me, or maybe I just don't blend it out very well. But I usually just go here. That's it. I haven't used this bronzer in a while. Man, it is, I forget how gorgeous it is, and it fits right in with the dewy look today. For blush today, I'm gonna go in with the Ilia stick in the shade Dreamer. And I don't like rubbing makeup sticks on my face, so I'm just gonna put it on my brush. And I feel like that's also gonna provide the most even application. And then I'll tap it off on my hand. It's very subtle, but you can still see the difference. It adds a tiny bit of pink, and I love it. For my eyeshadow, I've been loving the Flower Beauty Heatwave Luminous Bronzer in the shade Sunrise. The lid unfortunately broke off for me, which was really sad. But I really don't want to have to buy it again only because the lid broke off. This shade adds the most perfect, like, bronzy, but pink, but brown, everyday shade. And then if I'm traveling, I can use this as my like blush bronzer, and I don't have to pack a separate eyeshadow palette. Although when I travel, I am super, super bad with makeup, and I overpack every single time, even if I know, like, even if I have hacks like this, like use your bronzer for eyeshadow. But I think I'm gonna keep using the broken package until it dries out, or I can't close it or something. For brows, I've been using this e.l.f. product. I don't really like it. My favorite brow pencil ever is this Jane Iredale eyebrow pencil. I've already gone through 2 tubes of it. I ran out of this one, and I wanted to try something else, and the e.l.f. one is so cheap, but it's so thick that it's like hard to kind of like narrow down where I want it, and then I feel like it just starts to look too dark and too messy. And I still am not able to really like pinpoint where I wanted the fill. So it's fine. It's super cheap, but I'm definitely, once I use this up, I'll go back to the Jane Iredale pencil, or maybe try the Kosas one. It looks similar. And in the e.l.f. eyebrow pencil, I use the shade Medium Brown, although I found that the Deep Brown also works well. The medium brown matches my hair, the deep brown matches my eyebrows. My eyebrows are a little bit darker than my hair, so either one works. Another product I recently found is the Koki eyeliner. This is my first ever Koki product. The eyeliner I've been using, that's not liquid. If it's liquid, I use Wet n Wild. If it's not liquid, I've been using the Forever Wear from Flower Beauty. It is pretty creamy. I like it, but I want something that's pointier, and I feel like this is kind of hard for me to get into by the very corners of like edges of the eyelash line. I can sharpen it, but I don't know. I know eventually this will not be very pointy either, but it is super, super creamy. It's actually more creamier than the Flower Beauty, and this is the shade 532 Chocolate. I am really bad with eyeliner. I think I should probably just stretch my eyelid, but I thought you weren't supposed to do that, you know? So usually I just end up smudging it. This honestly almost has like a purple tint to it when I look in different lighting. I don't have a, oh, I do have a puff actually. I see Jessica Braun like pull her skin with the puff. I have one in the e.l.f. Powder foundation. Let's see if that'll help me apply better. I wanted to try the Victoria Beckham eyeliners because I saw reviews of how creamy they were. But dang, this one's also super creamy. And it's cheap. I got it at Fred Meyer for maybe $6. I'm pretty much done. I just need to apply mascara and powder. I don't want to take too much of the luminosity down, but I also don't like when my face is tacky. So I'm going to go back with the Cover FX powder. And I use this Eco Tools brush. Got it at TJ Maxx. Okay, I love this powder. Absolutely hate this packaging. It's honestly really messy and annoying. You can see the difference. This is where I already powdered it and this is where I haven't. It still leaves some luminosity, but it also just tones it down a bit. So this powder is super nice. I like the net packaging, which I know some people hate. I especially hate when it's tacky around my like neck where I would have a sweater or something. So that's where I focus most of the powder, and then around the cheeks I don't really need to. Why is that shaky? Around the cheeks I don't need to apply a ton of powder, but around the bottom I need it to be matte dry. I'm gonna go on top with the Honest Beauty lip, what is it, like a lipstick? Lip balm and fruit punch. To add a little bit more glow to the cheeks, I'm going to go in with the Jane Iredale blush in Connection. And I like to just put this across a few fingers and tap it on. And it gives the most perfect like highlighter while being a blush shade. And it also just blends in with the skin really well, and it doesn't look like this obvious chunky strip of highlighter. All right, I'll be back later today with the wear test of how the concealer looks. Mainly I'm testing under the eyes and around my nose is where it really looks the worst if it looks bad. I stacked these two mascaras from my eye look today. Thrive always goes on the bottom. It is the OG tubing formula. This is also a new tubing mascara I've recently tried. The Estee Lauder or the L'Oreal Double Extend. It's good, but I don't like to wear it by itself. But when I need a little bit more volume from the Thrive, then I'll add this one on. Anyways, this is today's look. I feel like that was a whole lot of makeup application for such a simple, basic look, but that's how I like it. I'll be back later with the wear test and how everything's looking. All right, so it's been about 8 hours and I am back to show the difference. And honestly, the difference is so minimal. I don't think you're gonna be able to see anything through the camera or the screen. But this was the side that I used the Honest Beauty concealer on, and this was the side that I used the Cover FX concealer on. The Honest concealer side has the slightest bit of creasing in wrinkles right under the eye here. It's much smoother on the Cover FX side, and same around my mouth. There's a little bit more of like gathering and creasing on the Honest side. So that's what I noticed yesterday when I did a full face of the Honest concealer that really bothered me, and I was correct. It's the same today, but it's such a small difference that even if you use it, if you find it on a great deal, I would still use it. But 100% I prefer and will continue to use the Cover FX, especially when you can get that for sale as well. So that's the conclusion. Cover FX concealer all the way, the best. I have several of these. I also have a backup. Oh, this is like G Light 1 that I can also use for my full face. This is the shade I usually use, N Light 1. I just recently got a backup of this one. Like, it's one of my faves. The Honest concealer is good. Not my favorite, but if you find it for a good price, use it. Nobody talks about the Cover FX concealer anymore, but lately everyone's been raving a lot. I don't know, everyone. A lot of YouTubers I've been watching have been raving about this concealer, but y'all, no one talks about Cover FX. It is really good. It's also clean beauty if you care about that. So anyways, this is the winner for today's test, and I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.